All right, chat. I'm really excited to watch this one with you guys. You guys sent me this. It's a video from M&JTV. Make sure you guys like and sub. But we're gonna watch this video right here. It's the original Pokemon that Game Freak constantly is forgetting about. So let's watch this. This should be a good one.
Game Freak has come up with a variety of ways to show love to older generation Pokemon in newer generation games. New evolutions, new forms, new species that reference the old ones, and more. The original 151 Kanto Pokémon have been around the longest, and thus have had the most opportunities to receive this extra attention. Therefore, most have gotten something. However, to this day, there are still several left with absolutely nothing. Today, I'm gonna go through every original Pokemon line to find—
Let's make a guess right now. Chat, let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, guess 5 right now that have never got anything. So I'm gonna say Rattata. So Raticate's never got. Oh, he got no. He got the Alolan form, or the Gala form. Nidoking and Nidoqueen. Electabuzz has Nidoking, Nidoqueen. Of course, Mew. That's a spoiler. He just put that there. Mew. The legendary birds have had the Gala region. Kangaskhan got a Mega. Scyther has a Mega and Evolution. Well, he doesn't have a Mega, he has Evolution that has a Mega. What else? Oh god, this is harder than I thought it'd be. Alright, let's just watch the video. I can't come up with 5. Wow, that's so bad. That's so bad. Wigglytuff. No, they got the Gala Jigglypuff. Oh crap, man. This is so embarrassing. I can't. No, Arbok has a Mega. Magneton has Evolution. Dude, this is harder than I thought. Let's just watch this video.
Find the ones that Game Freak has forgotten about for almost 30 years. And for those that have been, I'm gonna give my own ideas for what I think they should get, if anything. I should mention that I have done this video before, back in the fall of 2021. But since then, Pokemon released Legends Arceus, Scarlet and Violet, and Legends ZA. So this video will serve as that one's much needed update. We begin with the Kanto starter trio. Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise all received Mega Evolutions in X and Y, with Charizard actually getting 2. All 3 also got Gigantamax forms in Sword and Shield, although Venusaur and Blastoise didn't get theirs until the DLC. Butterfree got a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. Beedrill got a Mega Evolution in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Pidgeot also got a Mega Evolution at the same time as Beedrill.
You know, it's kind of embarrassing. I thought I'd be able to give you guys those 5 quick answers really quick. It's like really starting to I'm sitting here like kind of a little embarrassed I couldn't come up with it really quick.
Rattata and Raticate received Dark Normal Alolan forms in Sun and Moon. And we've now officially reached the first forgotten line, Spearow and Fearow. Despite being better in the earliest games, in my opinion, they have—
Dude, they've done nothing with Fearow. He's right. Dude. Fearow needs a 3rd evolution too, dude. Or like maybe a middle one. I guess it can't do a middle, it's too late. They need to give him a 3rd evolution.
Played second fiddle to the Pidgeot line the whole time. I think it's high time we change that, because I like Fearow. To me, it's clear that Fearow needs a new permanent evolution. I personally don't like it when underpowered Pokemon that could get a permanent evolution just get a Mega Evolution, because then when Mega Evolution goes away in a future game, the Pokemon is bad again. Fearow can evolve since it's only the 2nd stage, and it is definitely underpowered. Its base stat total is only 442. That's near Pokemon like a Gligar, Sneasel, and Piloswine, which all got later gen evolutions. Additionally, if Fearow got an evolution, then I could evolve my first ever shiny Pokemon, a shiny Fearow named Shiny. And that'd be really nice, because then I can make it look better. This is what shiny Fearow looked like in Gen 3 when I caught it, golden and beautiful. Today, it is Barth Green. Fan art of Fearow evolutions, either Mega or—
That is sick. That would be sick as a 3rd evolution. Even that would be cool, but I like this one.
regular often make it dark flying type, due to Fearow and Spearow's often antagonistic roles in the anime, and of course the name Fearow. But none of Fearow's dex entries actually describe it as being aggressive or cruel. It might steal a little food, but like, that's very normal for birds. Instead, I have a personal preference type idea that isn't based on nothing. An electric flying evolution. Fearow's red-blue dex entry says, with its huge and magnificent wings, it can keep aloft without ever having to land for rest. This made me think of its wings spread out in the sun all day, which then made me think of solar panels. This is my Fearow evolution idea, where its wings become much like solar panels. So while it's flying all day, it charges up its...
Not it, chat. I don't like this. I think that Dark Fearow was way cooler than this.
Own electrical power from the sun. I'd call it Seveero. I needed something that could rhyme with Spearow and Fearow, and severe worked quite nicely. I had to change the spelling though, because otherwise it would kind of look like Severero. By the way, unless otherwise credited, the new Pokemon art shown in this video, like Seveero here, was all made by my lovely graphic artist, Ellie. He makes my thumbnails too. Shout out to him. The next evolution line in the dex is another forgotten one, Ekans and Arbok. Frankly, I think this is crazy. The original...
Didn't they get a new... Doesn't Arbok have ZA? Have a Mega? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This might be misinformation. Doesn't... He has it, right? Arbok has it? I was gonna say Arcanine. Arbok has it, right?
Iconic Team Rocket Pokemon were Meowth, Weezing, and Arbok. And while, spoiler, the other two got something, Arbok hasn't. And it's the coolest of the three! In my opinion. Back in 2016, during the lead up to Sun and Moon, I made a video with some ideas.
Oh, it doesn't have it. I could have sworn somebody said it had it in ZA. Arbok does not have an official Mega Evolution in Pokemon ZA. The official sources do not mention Mega. Oh my god, I thought there was. Dude, I'm sorry.
For new Alola forms. And one of my ideas was to have Ekans and Arbok become water types based on sea snakes.
That'd be
I
sick.
still think this is a very cool idea, but
so
a permanent evolution is more important for Arbok. Its base stat total is only 448. The most venomous snake in the world is the inland taipan, a snake that is, quoting from Wikipedia, extremely fast, agile, and can strike instantly with extreme accuracy. So this is my very fast and very deadly Arbok evolution, named Napiat. Taipan backwards, of course. It's poison dark type, since Arbok could have gotten dark in Gen 2 due to its aggressive behavior. Napiat's face is both dark like an inland Taipan's, and the pattern on Arbok's belly made real. Arbok no longer needs markings to intimidate you. Napiat is that.
I don't know about this one either, guys. I don't know about this one. I think I would have preferred the Cobra look, you know? The water Cobra would have probably been really cool.
That's scary on its own. Additionally, the red and yellow stripes reference the old king snake versus coral snake saying. Red and black, venom lack. Red and yellow, kill a fellow. Next are Pikachu and Raichu, which are, obviously, very not forgotten. They got Pichu in Gold and Silver, Electric Psychic Alolan Raichu in Sun and Moon, Gigantamax Pikachu in Sword and Shield, and now 2 Mega Raichus in Legend ZA's DLC. You could even argue that cosplay Pikachu
Do you guys like the Megas for the Raichu? I've seen a lot of mix in the comments on the other videos. I actually like the Raichu and I actually like them both.
Pikachu and Let's Go Partner Pikachu count as well. It's the series mascot. This is to be expected. But woof, leave some for the rest of them. Sandshrew and Sandslash got Ice Steel Alolan forms in Sun and Moon. And then we have 2 evolution lines in a row that have been forgotten. The Nidoran lines. This baffles me. When I think of strong, popular, iconic Gen 1 Pokemon outside the starters and legends, I think of Gyarados, Arcanine, and Nidoking. And yet somehow, Nidoking and Nidoqueen have been totally forgotten. They obviously cannot.
I legit have like a Nidoking every time I play Gen 1. Like, he is so good in that game.
permanently evolve, and while they could get megas, I'd like to see regional variants over megas, specifically so that we can make them steel type. Their dex entries discuss their tough skin a lot. Its steel-like hide adds to its powerful tackle. Its horns are so hard they can pierce a diamond. It is recognized by its rock-hard hide and its extended horn. Be careful with the horn as it contains venom. Its hard scales provide strong protection. It uses its hefty bulk to execute powerful moves. Nidoqueen is better at defense than offense. With scales like armor, this Pokemon will shield its children from any kind of attack. I would love to see regional variants of these two that have their hides hardened to be actual metal. I think they could be pure steel, steel ground, or steel poison, or maybe even one steel ground and the other steel poison. I'm pretty flexible, but I just really would love to see these guys as steel type.
I like that Nidoking. The Nidoqueen's okay, but the king is looking nice.
Not only is it very cool, it's pretty logical. Clefairy and Clefable got Cleffa in Gold and Silver, a type change to Fairy in X and Y, and Mega Clefable in Legend ZA. Vulpix and Ninetales got Alolan forms in Sun and Moon, Ice and Ice Fairy respectively. Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff got Igglybuff in Gold and Silver, a type change to normal Fairy in X and Y, and the Paradox Pokemon Screamtail in Scarlet and Violet. Screamtail isn't connected evolutionarily, but it still counts. If you like Jigglypuff, you're also gonna like the bigger, meaner Jigglypuff. Zubat and Golbat got Crobat in Gold and Silver. Oddish, Gloom.
Wow, that is like the transition there was peak.
And Vileplume got Bellossom at the same time. And now we've reached another forgotten line. Paris and Parasect. No, them being incredibly violent in Legends Arceus does not count. I gotta say, I get why these two haven't gotten anything. They're not popular at all. And beyond that, Parasect is catastrophically awful. Its base stat total is only 405.
You know, I bet there's somebody out there that this is their favorite Pokemon. That's a good thing about Pokemon is like there's so many out there and there's like so many weird fans that like the weirdest Pokemon will be their favorite. I've learned that through the hard way. I've talked so much crap about Pokemon and like, man, that Pokemon sucks. That's my favorite Pokemon, bro. Okay. I didn't know like a Sneasel was your favorite or something like that. Or actually Sneasel's kind of cool, huh? What's his what's the little turtle one? Snickle, Snickers, Snackle, Shackle. You know what I'm talking about, the one on gold where you get it for free because nobody wants it.
It has 6 weaknesses, with 2 of them 4 times. And in fact, it was the only Pokemon to ever have 3 4 times weaknesses, since Bug was weak to poison in Gen 1. Oh, and also the mushroom is almost totally taken over, so it's doing bad in every sense. But unfortunately for the Bug, the coolest way to make Parasect better is to give it a new permanent evolution where the Bug dies.
What?
Like, totally dies. It's like almost dead. I'm pretty like full dead. A while back, Reddit user Eli D. Webster posted this Parasect evolution idea to my subreddit. And I thought the idea to turn it into a grass ghost type, since the Bug fully dies, was brilliant. Not only is their design creative,
that's actually kind of cool. I actually kind of like that. I don't know about dying. I would just say maybe the mushroom is a parasite that just kept growing. Well, I guess you could say it killed him, huh?
But it's much better typing. 5 weaknesses instead of 6, none of them 4 times, and now it has 2 immunities. This is my own idea for a grass ghost Parasect evolution, which I'll call Parasol, which is parasite and soul, obviously, but also parasol, an umbrella, but more importantly, a type of mushroom. Although this design is specifically inspired by shaggy ink cap mushrooms because I thought they looked spooky. Much like Eli D. Webster's Paraseptic, the mushroom has enveloped the dead Bug body, but the Bug's spirit still inhabits the host, angry and vengeful. That's why the claws kind of look like Grim Reaper scythes. Scythes? 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 Regardless of the design though, Parasect needs a permanent evolution that changes its awful typing, or it will never be anywhere close to usable in any circumstances. The next forgotten Pokemon are Venonat and Venomoth. I think Game Freak.
Yeah, huh?
hates them.
Dude, so basically, like, all the bugs.
Bulbapedia says, Venomoth and its pre-evolved form are the Pokemon that went the longest without appearing in a regional Pokedex, excluding their appearances in remakes. Prior to the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, their last appearance in a regional Pokedex was in Crystal, almost 22 years earlier. Yikes. Although,
I was gonna say, I've seen them before, but I guess man, that's like dating me, huh? I have seen them in there.
oh, it does make some amount of sense. If you think about it, there's several other butterfly and moth Pokemon that are pretty much across the board more popular. Like, who cares about Venomoth when you've got Volcarona? Should Venomoth get something, it could use an evolution. Its base stat total is only 450, which is stronger than Butterfree and Beedrill, but they're third stage, so they're stuck. However, I couldn't think of a Venomoth evolution design idea that wasn't just more Venomoth. And if it's just more Venomoth, that'd be like a Mega Venomoth, and I don't want a Mega Venomoth. However, then I noticed Venomoth's Ruby Sapphire.
What if it grows its legs and turns into, like, we grow the legs out, extend the body, and give it like freaking spikes on the back or something like that, like a dragon bug type? No?
Sapphire Dex entry. Venomoth is nocturnal. It is a Pokemon that only becomes active at night. Its favorite prey are small insects that gather around streetlights, attracted by the light in the darkness. Moths are well known for being attracted to light, but what if there was a moth that is the light? This is my Bug Electric regional variant of Venomoth. The wings are based on the Madagascan moon moth, while its antennae are streetlights, its eyes flashlights.
Chat, we cannot say this is it. We cannot say this is it. Like, I thought he was gonna go with like some like vampire like thing because it's at night and it eats the other bugs, like some creepy, scary looking night creature. But this, I gotta say, this ain't it.
And its abdomen, a bug zapper. This Venomoth uses these to attract and zap prey. I think this Venomoth could then evolve into something that wouldn't just be more Venomoth. But I don't have art of that evolution. I'd like to see yours though. If you decide to come up with your own regional Venomoth evolution, put it on my subreddit, r/M&JTV. Might get into the next meme review episode on M&JTV Extra. Diglett and Dugtrio both received ground steel Alolan forms in Sun and Moon. But Scarlet and Violet also introduced the new convergent evolution species, Wiglet and Wugtrio, which are basically just water-type Diglett and Dugtrio, except they're eels now. Meowth, wow, they love Meowth. Meowth received a dark-type Alolan form in Sun and Moon, and then Sword and Shield gave it both a Steel-type Galarian form and a Gigantamax form. Persian got the dark-type Alolan form, but not the Steel-type Galarian form. Instead, those Meowth become Berserker. That means this line has gotten...
Berserker was like a fan favorite though. Like a lot of people like Berserker.
5 different new forms or species added, which is tied with the Pikachu line. Assuming you don't count Cosplay Cap or Partner Pikachu, which like I don't feel like you really should. They're basically the same Pikachu, they just act a little different. I will say this makes quite a bit of sense though, since Meowth is one of the most famous of the original Pokemon. Ash had Pikachu, Team Rocket had Meowth. But then we reach this next line, one that is almost as famous as Pikachu and Meowth, and yet somehow, shockingly, has gotten nothing. The next forgotten Pokemon are Psyduck and Golduck. How? How is this possible? Well, actually, Golduck...
Is that really true? I guess it is true, huh? I would have... yeah, no, it's true. I wanted to say that Golduck and them had a variant form, but no. This is kind of like a... This is crazy, actually.
I get... No one really cares about Golduck, but Psyduck? We love Psyduck! It is one of the most popular Gen 1 Pokemon. Retro Pokemon merch had Pikachu, the starters, Meowth, Jigglypuff, and Psyduck. And also Poliwhirl sometimes, randomly. But Psyduck was, and still is, everywhere. Meowth has 35 results on PokemonCenter.com. Psyduck has 62. This line needs something. A regional variant could work, but to be honest, I think a Mega Evolution is more straightforward. Golduck's BST is 500, so while it could use a permanent Evo, a Mega also makes sense. And clearly, the Mega should make it the Water Psychic type that it was always meant to be. It appears by waterways at dusk.
Is he not Water and Psychic? Isn't Golduck already Water and Psychic? I'm gonna check this out while we continue.
May use telekinetic powers if its forehead glows mysteriously. My idea for a Water Psychic Mega Golduck does something that many other Mega Evolutions do, which is take one body part and make it really big. Since Golduck's forehead glows when it uses—
Dude, it's not a Water Psychic? Dude, he learned, you could teach him Psychic. What? What is this? Dude, my whole life I thought this was a Water Psychic Pokemon. My entire life of playing this game. Wow, I need to pay attention to my Pokedex more, dude.
Psychic powers. If its powers enhance to the point of actually turning it Water Psychic type, then that little red thing could grow huge and send psychic energy coursing through its body. And if—
I like that one, guys. I like that one.
If you want fun energy coursing through your body— that's a weird way to say that. Essentially, I'm trying to say if you've watched this far into the video, you probably enjoy the videos that I make. So a great way to tell YouTube that you want to see more of them is to subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it if you did. Also, getting very close to 2.5 million subscribers. Very excited to pass that soon, and you could help me get there.
That's so crazy, dude. 2.5 million subscribers. That's the dream, huh?
Mankey and Primeape got Annihilape in Scarlet and Violet, which is a Pokemon I personally love. Huge fan of Annihilape. I love that it seems to be inspired by a Dex entry, hence why I'm doing that myself quite a bit in this video. Growlithe and Arcanine got Rock, Fire, Hisuian forms in Legends Arceus. Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath got Politoed in Gold and Silver. Alakazam got a Mega Evolution in X and Y. Machamp got a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. Victory Bell got a Mega Evolution in Legends ZA. Tentacool—
so ugly, dude. That Mega is so ugly.
And Tentacruel got Grass Ground Toedscool and Toedscruel in Scarlet.
I don't like these guys, but I use them in— I don't know if I should say the name because I don't want to get sued by Pokemon, but there's a Pokemon game out there that sounds like Empoleon or something like that. You know, it's really hard. I use them in that game and they're very helpful, but in reality, I just don't like this. I don't like this variant.
And Violet. Like Wiglet and Wugtrio, these are new convergent evolution species, but they are clearly attention shown to the original jellyfish. Geodude, Graveler, and Golem got Rock Electric Alolan forms in Sun and Moon. Ponyta and Rapidash got Galarian forms in Sword and Shield.
Beautiful.
Ponyta Psychic and Rapidash Psychic Fairy. Slowpoke is another Pokemon that's gotten a lot. It and Slowbro got Slowking in Gold and Silver, then Slowbro got a Mega Evolution in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Then in Sword and Shield, all three got Galarian forms that replaced their water type with poison. Fun fact, for several years, Slowbro was the only Pokemon to have both a Mega Evolution and a regional variant. Now it's both Slowbro and Raichu. Magnemite and Magneton gained the Steel type in Gold and Silver, then Magnezone in Diamond and Pearl. Additionally, Scarlet and Violet added Sandy Shocks, an electric ground type paradox Pokemon referencing Magneton specifically.
I didn't like this one either. I thought this was a stupid one.
Farfetch'd got a pure fighting type Galarian form in Sword and Shield, and that form can evolve into Surfetch'd. The next forgotten Pokemon are Doduo and Dodrio. I understand this to a degree.
Dude, that's crazy.
You can't really give Dodrio an evolution Mega.
I kind of forgot about them too, actually. But you know, even when you play the original games, dude, nobody cares about them. Like, they're like fodder on the bike trail on Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue. They're like fodder Pokemon that you're just trying to beat up on those trainers down there.
Or regular, without just adding a fourth head. And like, personally, I think that's kind of boring. And I think Game Freak agrees, hence why they haven't done anything. But this does leave the door open for a fun regional variant. that. According to Bulbapedia, despite its name, Dodrio seems like it has more in common with ostriches than dodos. It also seems to show some similarities to the moa, an extinct flightless bird, and the emu.
Why can't you make the third evolution where the heads fuse and it turns it into, you know, that prehistoric bird that was like 9 feet tall and it was like so big it ate like tigers and stuff like that? Why don't you have the third evolution, the heads will fuse? That'd be kind of cool, like a big thick neck and a big old head. Maybe some like claws right here. Maybe wings.
Another flightless bird. It also resembles the kiwi in some ways as well. Its crests also indicate it was based on cassowaries. There! Right there, that last one. Cassowaries are fascinating flightless birds closely related to ostriches and emus. All of them are ratites, and they have a reputation for being very dangerous. I'd like to see a Dodrio regional variant that goes full cassowary. And apparently, so did someone else. Reddit user Canis Aries made this design almost a decade ago, and my artist Ellie.
That's cool. I like that. I like that.
Found this after I wrote and sketched out my idea. Theirs is very cool. I came up with it first, but I'm still showing you mine because it's different enough and we've already worked on it. And also it's pretty different. Theirs is fighting flying, whereas mine isn't either of those. Cassowaries have a reputation for being really aggressive, and thus my cassowary Dodrio would be dark type. Additionally, cassowaries have hard crests on their heads, known as casques, and their feet have spear-like claws.
Dang.
If you make both of those metal, then this is a really cool dark steel.
I like the other fan one. I'm not feeling this one.
Dodrio. Seel and Dugong are the next Forgotten Pokemon. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really surprised by this. They might be the most forgotten Gen 1 Pokemon just in general. They're just like really bland amongst a large roster of much more interesting water types. Dugong's base stat total is 475, so not high, but not...
I'd agree with what he just said. Like, I agree with that, but at the same time, I feel like Dugong is like one of the OG, like, pretty Pokemon. Like, there's something about Dugong I just think is like so majestic.
Horrible, but still low enough to justify a permanent evolution. When coming up with an idea for one, I thought about their names, Seel and Dugong, which are misspellings of real marine mammals that they're based on. However, I noticed something odd about the Pokemon compared to their real-life counterparts. The Pokemon aren't fat! Many seals and dugongs are quite pudgy fellows to insulate them in cold waters, while Seel and Dugong are sleek and comparatively thin despite having thick fat as an ability. I want to see Dugong evolve into something that's properly fat. So I designed one. This is Manatee. Of course, a misspelling of manatee, a lovely, portly fellow that can shrug off attacks with its blubber. I am so tickled by this design that I'd love to see it in any form. And I do think it could work as Mega Dugong too, although a permanent evolution would certainly be better for Dugong long term. Grimer and
That just looks like Dugong who needs to go on Ozempic, bro. Like, that was that was not good.
Muck got poison dark Alolan forms in Sun and Moon. But then we have another forgotten pair, Shellder and Cloyster. This is so weird. Like, Cloyster's counterpart, Onyx, it's gotten stuff, so why hasn't Cloyster? Cloyster has a base stat total of 5.
Does Cloyster not have a regional, like a low one or a regional form?
525, the highest of all the forgotten Gen 1 Pokemon, excluding Legends. So while it is 2 stages and could evolve, I think a regional variant or mega evolution suited better. I didn't come up with any variant ideas that I liked, so here's my idea for Mega Cloyster. It's a pretty simple premise. To shore up its defenses even more, hopefully that pitiful special defense especially, its shell totally encloses it, much like how it did with Shellder. It can open though, and you can see the seam is jagged, so when it clamps down on enemies, it does a lot more damage than before. Gengar got a mega evolution in
You guys like that one or no? I don't know about that one.
X and Y, then a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. the only Pokemon outside the Kanto starter trio to get both. Onix got Steelix in Gold and Silver, then Steelix later got a Mega Evolution in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Drowzee and Hypno are the next forgotten Pokemon. And this isn't really
I always love those animation of Drowzee. His fingers always like. That's like
surprising to me. They're kind of creepy. And like, I've personally not been a fan of Drowzee the last few years because that stupid meme about me and it persisting for far longer than any meme should. Additionally, at first, I wasn't really sure how to change Hypno. Its base stat total is 483, low enough for a permanent evolution, but how could it be handled? A lot of people have suggested Psychic Dark because of how creepy Hypno is, since there was once an incident in which it took away a child it hypnotized. And I don't want to be a Hypno defender here. But like, that seems to have been an isolated incident, I think. I don't want to like stand up for Hypno. It's just like, there's that other Alola Dex entry that says it rarely harms people, and rarely isn't never, but just like, Psychic Dark just feels a bit uninspired. So I didn't like Psychic Dark and couldn't figure out how to advance the hypnotism piece. But then I realized that Hypno isn't mind controlling people like Malamar. It's just putting them to sleep so it can eat their dreams. So then I started thinking about like other ways that people are made to feel drowsy and fall asleep. I thought of melatonin and Benadryl, couldn't go anywhere with that. But then I remembered that movie, Rise of the Guardians, which featured the Sandman. The Sandman is a mythical character originating in Germanic and Scandinavian folklore. He visits children in the evening, sprinkles sleep-inducing sand into their eyes, and brings dreams. In the morning, the sleep sand is rubbed from the corner of the eyes. I love this idea. A new member of the Hypno line could be inspired by the Sandman and be a ground type. And once again, I am not the first person to come up with this. Dark Sylvania designed these really cool Drowzee and Hypno regional variants that are fairy and fairy ground type, where the
I like these. These are kind of cool.
Hypno is clearly based on the Sandman. I went a bit of a different route. This is Sandream. I am open to better name suggestions. I think this name is pretty mid. A psychic ground type Hypno evolution. It wields sleep sand that grows from its wrists, ankles, and mane, and of course it uses the sand to put enemies to sleep and eat their dreams.
I think I like the other one better.
Unfortunately, the sand also makes Sandream itself sleepy, so it's a bit cranky. I gave it back Drowzee's more tapir-like nose. Never liked Hypno's weird one. And the brown markings are both reminiscent of Drowzee and make it just look more like a ground type. Also, its belly pattern is supposed to look a little like a pillow. I'm quite pleased with myself for this one. I went from not wanting to do anything for Hypno at all, but now, like, if Sandream was real, I might use that thing. I think it's pretty cool. Kingler got a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. Voltorb and Electrode are next. And funny story, here's what I said about them in my original video.
Don't they have a regional? They do. They have the wood one, right? For sure.
I don't think it deserves to have any new forms, both because its design concept is silly to begin with, but also because there's not anywhere for its design to really go.
And then, about 3 months later...
Yes, there we go.
So, I was wrong. Never thought about wooden versions based on older Pokeballs. And frankly, this shows that the devs are smarter than me because that's genius. Anyways, as you can see, Voltorb and Electrode got electric grass Hisuian forms in Legends Arceus. Exeggutor got its iconic, comically tall, and somehow dragon-type Alolan form in Sun and Moon. Marowak also got an Alolan form in Sun and Moon, a fire ghost type. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, initially unrelated evolutionarily, got the mutual baby Tyrogue in Gold and Silver, alongside another member of the now branching line, Hitmontop. Lickitung got Licky Licky in Diamond and Pearl. Weezing got a poison fairy type Galarian form in Sword and Shield. Rhyhorn and Rhydon got Rhyperior in Diamond and Pearl.
You guys like Rhyperior? I don't know if I don't think I've been a fan. Like, I think I like the Electivire for sure, sweet. But Rhyperior and what's his name? Magmortar or whatever, the Magmar one, I don't think I like him.
Chansey got Blissey in Gold and Silver, then Happiny in Diamond and Pearl. Tangela got Tangrowth in Diamond and Pearl. Kangaskhan got a Mega Evolution in X and Y. Horsea and Seadra got Kingdra in Gold and Silver.
Love Kingdra, dude. Such a great addition.
And now finally some more forgotten Pokemon, Goldeen and Seaking. Much like Seel and Dugong, these are simply too bland amongst a sea of far more interesting water types. Also, Seaking is really bad. It has a base stat total of only 450, and every stat is bad except an okay attack. It does get Lightning Rod, which is a great ability for water types since it makes them immune. However, when it's hit by an electric move, it boosts the Pokemon's special attack, and Seaking's is god-awful. Game Freak might hate Seaking more than Parasect. The only way to redeem Seaking is to permanently evolve it. It's just too weak for a very—
What do you guys think this evolution would be? I don't even see how they could go with this. I would maybe just turn it into a whole different monster looking creature, like maybe like a two-horned like different fish, maybe like an extension or something. I don't know. Let's see.
Or Mega. This is my idea for one. Koizer, combining Koi and Kaiser. Goldeen and Seaking are part goldfish, part koi, so I leaned fully into the koi side, turning it streamlined and giving it a—
I guess that's the only way you could do it, but even that's still pretty lame. I don't know. There might have to be— I'd have to like tinker with it and like sit there and really think about it, but I just don't know how you would make that one cooler.
Pattern inspired by the Showa koi. Now you could criticize this design with the same critique that Goldeen and Seaking often get, which is that's just a fish with a horn. And if you say that, you would be right. However, that means that the evolution is faithful. And we should always make our evolutions faithful, just like our remakes. Right? Starmie got a Mega Evolution in Legends ZA. Mr. Mime has—
Nightmare fuel. That Starmie is nightmare fuel.
Weirdly gotten a lot. It got Mime Jr. in Diamond and Pearl, then the Fairy type in X and Y. I thought it was done after that, but then Sword and Shield gave it an Ice Psychic regional form that could evolve into the new Pokemon, Mr. Rime. Quite a lot for a Pokemon that I didn't think was popular. Or maybe it is popular? I don't know. I used to passionately hate—
Dude, he was hooking up with Ash's mom. They have to give him something.
This thing before I mellowed with age, so maybe I'm just out of touch. Scyther got Scizor in Gold and Silver, which then got a Mega Evolution in X and Y. Then several years later, to the surprise of many, Scyther got another new evolution, Cleavor in Legends Arceus. Jinx got Smoochum in Gold and Silver, but that's it. Only Pokemon in Gen 1 to get a baby and then nothing else. Electabuzz got Elekid in Gold and Silver, then Electivire in Diamond and Pearl. Its counterpart Magmar got the same things at the same times. Magby in Gold and Silver, then Magmortar in Diamond and Pearl. Pinsir got a Mega Evolution in X and Y. Tauros got a Paldean form in Scarlet and Violet. Well,
I saw you guys talking crap about that Taurus form. I really like the black Taurus. I'm really into that black bull.
actually, it kind of got three. Paldean Tauros has three forms: Pure Fighting Combat Breed, Fire Fighting Blaze Breed, and Water Fighting Aqua Breed. Three forms of a form. The only differences between them are their types, the type their Raging Bull attack becomes, and their weight, oddly enough. But those are significant differences, especially the typing. Earlier, I was gonna say that Meowth is the only Pokemon to get more than one regional variant, but then I remembered Tauros, and I was like, oh wait, it kinda basically has three. Gyarados got a Water Dark Mega Evolution in X and Y. Rest in peace, Dragon-type Gyarados. Lapras got a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. The next forgotten Pokemon is Ditto. But not only does this make sense, it's the only forgotten one that I feel strongly should remain that way. Ditto's whole thing is turning into other Pokemon, or occasionally little Animal Crossing protagonists. So what would an evolution, regional variant, or God forbid a Mega Evolution even do for Ditto? Like, if there's—
I can agree with this one. Keep it a Ditto forever.
Still Ditto, they're still gonna transform. So what's the point of a new design if they just transform into something else. The only thing that makes sense to me is a Paradox Pokemon inspired by Ditto that cannot transform. Hertzburst on Reddit made a cool past Paradox design based on a beta Ditto evolution. Ellie also whipped up this fun future Paradox idea where it looks like a D20. Instead of transforming, it just rolls deception checks. However, we definitely aren't getting new Paradox Pokemon anytime soon. And while you could maybe make one of these designs work for like a convergent evolution Pokemon are evolving to fill the same niche. And if the niche is transforming, then it should just still be Ditto. Eevee and the original 3 Evolutions have of course gotten a lot. Umbreon and Espeon in Gen 2, Leafeon and Glaceon in Gen 4, and Sylveon in Gen 6. On top
They
of
haven't got enough, bro. Like, I really thought ZA was going to give them more forms, but in Gen 10, dude, we better get, like, ground, fighting, ghost, dragon. We should just finish every type. Like, Eevee should be able to go to every type.
that, Eevee got a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. And if you count it, Partner Eevee exists in Let's Go Eevee. Porygon has gotten a new evolution twice. Porygon 2 in Gold and Silver, then Porygon Z in Diamond and Pearl. Next are the Kanto fossils, and only one has not been forgotten, Aerodactyl. It got a Mega Evolution in X and Y. However, Ammonite, Amistar, Kabuto, and Kabutops have gotten absolutely nothing. I think that's a bit sad. Why did Aerodactyl get something while the others were left behind? Sure.
And you know, Amistar are fine, but Kabutops is actually pretty cool. So
Aerodactyl was more popular before 2014 when Twitch Plays Pokemon happened. Praise Helix! While Amistar and Kabutops are less powerful than Aerodactyl, it's not by much, and Mega Evolutions make the most sense. Regional variants just don't work. How could long-dead Pokemon recently revived Darwinian evolve just in the 30 years since the 90s? Even accounting for the fact that they're prevalent now thanks to fossil reviving. Maybe they could get permanent evolutions, but no fossil Pokemon ever have, so Megas make the most sense. This is my Mega Amistar design. It's pretty simple. I gave it longer tentacles to look more
I actually really like that.
more like the Ammonites it's based on. You kind of lose the star shape, but I can live with that. As for Mega Kabutops, I gave it more arms for more violence.
Definitely don't like that. I definitely hate that.
Made its head look a bit more like Kabuto's, and gave it a tail and mandibles inspired by Megalograptus, a type of Europterid, what Kabutops is based on. Snorlax got Munchlax in Diamond and Pearl, plus a Gigantamax form in Sword and Shield. Then we have the legendary birds, which got Galarian forms in Sword and Shield's DLC. Psychic Flying Articuno, Fighting Flying Zapdos, and Dark Flying Moltres. Dragonite finally got a Mega Evolution in Legends
Blah. I freaking hate that evolution, dude.
ZA. Mewtwo got 2 Mega Evolutions in X and Y. And then finally, the last forgotten Pokemon is Mew. Only a Mega makes sense. The ancestor of all Pokemon isn't gonna have a regional variant, and Legends don't get later gen evolutions. New forms, sure, like primal forms, but a Mega works well for Mew since Mewtwo has Megas. My idea for Mega Mew is simple. Make it look like Mewtwo, but less Frankenstein science gone wrong. It keeps its smoother features, but it's larger and more powerful. And those are all the forgotten Gen 1.
I actually think that's quite terrible. Like, that one actually like kind of like makes me feel uncomfortable seeing that.
Pokemon. Maybe someday they'll all be remembered, but there are certain ones that are higher priority. Like again.
All right, chat, that's the video. Make sure you guys come like and subscribe. The description will be in the link will be in the description. You guys asked me to react to this stuff, so there we are, here we are. And hopefully you enjoyed it. I don't know about all these evolutions and stuff. This might actually be a fun video to do myself one day, to like just play around with it. But some of them were pretty wonky, not gonna lie. But some were pretty fire. So all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more reactions, original content, and gaming news, and just drama and stuff like that. So have a great night, and I'll see you for the next one.